This is the Tier 10 Chinese Collector Heavy, the WZ-114. Now, just a few days ago, I made a full in-depth review showcasing this vehicle's overall statistics, armor profile, and just about everything you need to know on a technical sense, followed with some ace tanker gameplay. In today's video, we are going to be breaking into my opinion on this vehicle after playing it for 20 battles. As always, I always get my first video out very fast, just to give a general overview of the tank, play it, get a feel for it, and share my basic opinions. But I always like to make a follow-up video a couple days later after I've been given the opportunity and time to play the vehicle and get a feel for exactly what its playstyle is, how I think it compares to other heavies with similar playstyles, things like that. And that is what today's video is for. I don't have 1, 2, or even 3 helpings of gameplay. We have 4. And obviously, I don't just give you guys bottom of the barrel content. Here, I'm showing all ace tanker gameplay. So we're going to be taking a look at 4 mastery battles, all equaling about 5,000 damage. Overall, I have to say, I've really been enjoying this vehicle. It is not only a fairly well-balanced tank in terms of armor, mobility, and the gun, but it's also just a really enjoyable vehicle to drive. There's a lot of people that have been in the comment section on my 114 video saying, oh, it's a worse 60 TP. And I mean, yeah, in certain aspects, it is worse. But in other aspects, it's definitely better. In fact, how about I name a few right now? First of all, how about we take a look at the penetration? The WZ-114 SP2 features 358mm of heat pen, which by no means is crazy, but if you compare it to the 347mm of pen that the 60 TP has with Cali, yeah, this is quite a bit better. And that is the same case for the AP ammo, because the 60 TP doesn't even get AP standard, it is APCR. So, not only does the 60 TP have worse standard pen, but it also has worse premium pen. What is the HE alpha of the 60 TP? Well, it's 720. And what is the HE alpha of the WZ-114? Well, it is 870. That's once again a pretty big jump in damage, 150 to be exact. So just in the gun areas alone, the 114 SP2 not only has more pen, but also much better damage per shot with the HE, while featuring only 10 less on the standard. I should also point out that the 114 SP2 has better on move values, especially when turning the turret, and better terrain resistances, meaning that it will turn faster on medium and soft terrain while accelerating faster. So overall, the 114 SP2, while I'm not going to say is better than the 60 TP in every aspect, is also not worse than the 60 TP, which a lot of people have tried saying. Sure, it's an expensive vehicle, but the price tag of a tank does not affect its performance in the battlefield. And to be completely honest, I've been enjoying this tank quite a lot over the past 20 battles I've played in it, rocking a 70% win rate and 3,400 average damage. And to be honest, these stats could have been a lot better if I didn't have some tragic teams. I did a 1-hour live stream earlier, and wow, if you just watch that live stream, you will see some of the pain and suffering I went through, which was not the tank's fault at all. So pretty easily, if I play this tank for maybe another 20 games, I could probably get this up to 35, maybe even 3,600 average, 72, 73% win rate, something around there. I don't think that's bad at all, and I don't really see a problem with the vehicle. The reason I get really frustrated when I see comments saying that a vehicle like this is just a flat worse 60 TP is it's just flat stupid. First of all, as I said earlier, it's not. And second of all, you're basically saying that you want Wargaming to put overpowered tanks that are better than tech trees into the game behind a $200 paywall that only the biggest of whales can purchase. That is possibly the dumbest thing that you can say. That's like saying, yeah guys, let's make a tier 10 Annihilator and make it $200. Whoa! Yeah. Personally, when I see comments like that, it really makes me cringe, especially when a vehicle like the 114 SP2 is properly balanced, it's fun to play, while it's not super cringe to fight against. It has weak spots, it has a hatch on the roof, but if you run it hull down, its hatch becomes hard to pen. So I think Wargaming did a proper job balancing this vehicle, and that's what we'll be showcasing over the next 4 battles. So here we go. Up against us, we have a T-57 Heavy, who we're going to aim on. You can see that the aiming time on this tank is actually fairly good. but the overall dispersion is pretty bad. 0.389 is about as bad as it gets. So because of that, you are going to miss a lot of shells at distance, especially snapshots. It's not a very good tank in terms of accuracy. I played a game on Dynasty's Pearl on my live stream with this tank, and holy, that game made me very, very angry. There were a lot of missed shots that should not have missed, especially on the 183. We won, but woof, I was super, super angry. So we got the 50 TP in front of us, and if you're wondering why I'm driving kind of like this, it's because I don't know where the 183 is currently. But because I'm not spotted, and because nobody on my team's been shot, I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to drive out as fast as possible, poke the 50 TP, get a shot into him, and back up. But this is why I'm purposefully sitting directly behind the rocks, because I don't know where the 183 is. If he's sitting up on the ridgeline, I could obviously get nuked. But the 183 is indeed in front of us, and he rolls me for 513 with a non-penning hesh directly into our turret, the strongest part of this vehicle's armor. That's so lame. I still personally believe HE mechanics should be changed a bit. I think the damage should be halved. Alright, well, we got a TNH VZ51 in front, and there you go. Look at that. 726 damage slap into that. Wow, that just feels really, really nice. We're going to reload again. The VZ is once again just sitting right out in the open. Easy shot right into the side. Yeah, that's a great example there of the accuracy being super, super disappointing occasionally. I mean, that should have penned, and it should have hit the TNH, but unfortunately it went low. It didn't go where we wanted it to. Now, hull down armor-wise, this vehicle's actually really solid, and even if I do drive up here and I do get penned for 390, I'm going to hit back a lot harder at 686, so I really can't complain. Again, that is where this tank just feels super duper nice. It actually comes with a decent chunk of HP as well. 2600 base, you can get up to 2750 if you are running improved assembly. However, I don't really think that's important. I'd rather run enhanced armor because of the fact this vehicle's turret is super, super dependent on running enhanced. So we get a nice slap into the enemy ST1, and now we got the 50 TP rolling off to our side. Well, we're already up to 3700 damage, which is nice, and we've done a pretty solid job holding the enemy team off of the hill. So we're going to aim it on the 50 TP, and bye-bye! We got the T-57 Heavy in front of us, and I'm just going to side scrape right on the 50 TP's dead corpse, and now that the 57's backed in the cover, I'm going to make my way across. Now, we shouldn't even be spotted, to be completely real. All that's left is an enemy 183 and the 57, so we're just going to move on up. Now, something you'll notice about this vehicle is that it's actually decently fast for power to weight. I mean, it only reaches a top speed of 32, but it gets up to 32 decently fast, and that's because it features really, really good terrain resistance, which is actually nice. So we're going to push over here, bonk, thank you for 530 HP. Just like that, we are now up to 4,800 damage. Okay, well, all that's left is the enemy FE2 and 5B183, and oh, there he is. He tries to hash us, misses the shot, probably hits my upper plate, but I'm not going to complain. We get a nice 610 roll into the 183. Just like that, we've been pushed above the 5,000 damage mark to 5,413. We can see where the alpha feels really, really solid on this tank. And while the armor didn't do too much this game, we didn't really need it to. We had a lot of HP left at the end of the battle, and we easily could have done a lot more if we needed to, so I can't really complain. 5,400, an easy ace in our first battle, high caliber, and we're able to net a crisp, clean 164,000 credits, so not too bad at all. We now arrive to our second battle on Port Bay, and this game is going to receive quite a bit more action than our previous one on Camp Stia. Funny enough, we actually have a BZ-75 right next to us. I will be making a video on that tank statistics sometime later this week. I got a whole bunch of premiums I need to make videos on because their stats have just been released in 10.4. The BZ-75 actually seems pretty cool. Unfortunately, its armor is a little mid, but we are not here to talk about the BZ. We're here to talk about the 114. So we're going to shoot at the E50M. We miss, and we hit the Bat Chat. That is just super, super lucky. We hit the Bat Chat for just about 600, which is really, really nice. I can't complain. Now we're going to get hull down, and this is where the 114 is super, super solid. In a hull down position like this, where we are basically hiding our weak lower plate, this is what the enemy team is seeing. It's just our turret and the upper plate here. And if we're angling the upper plate at a super steep degree with enhanced armor. It's about 400 mils thick. So essentially, we're not going to be penned in the upper plate. When you pair that with the fact that this turret is at weakest about 350 with enhanced hull down, yeah, it's actually quite impressive. Because of that, you can sit hull down in a lot of situations and be quite comfortable. So we got the side of the AMX. Bonk! Oh, 710. Oh my. 2 shots, and we're up to 1,300, plus the blind shot on the bat chat, so more like 1,900 damage. The 60 TP shoots the Chieftain Mark 6, and we're going to drive right over the ridge, aiming on the roof. Chunk! 660. I mean, the alpha on this vehicle just feels incredible. We are already up to probably 2,600 damage in this game. We got the enemy boss Shotgun off to the side, and I want to get a shell into the 60. Let's see. Chunk! There you go. Nice. We got a nice 273 slap. That's actually really, really good. We are in a pretty solid situation here. We've not only dealt a pretty decent chunk of damage at this point, but we are also, it looks to be winning this game. So we got the side of the bat chat. We're going to aim in and what? I'm sorry, Wargaming. What was that? Normally I blame the gun's dispersion, but that wasn't the gun's dispersion. That was literally just bullcrap. That made literally no sense. So I don't even know what to say. Thankfully, it's not the end of the world because we're just going to move on and get some shells into the E100. There you go. But now that bat chat, which should be dead, is trying to shoot us, and the E50M's off to the side as well. I'm going to try and take a shell for the Chieftain, but doesn't really matter because he misses. Alright, well we know the 183 is back there, so I'm going to stay slow. I'm going to aim it on the 183. Bonk! Nice, but bruh. He hits me in the edge of the turret and right in the edge as well, and manages to pen for 900 damage. Thankfully, we're a heavy, so we still have 1,400 health left, which is more than enough for the majority of situations that we can get stuck in. But, yeah, it's just a little lame to get bonked by a 183, especially when we don't even really make a mistake. So, this time, we are going to make sure that the bat chat does get cleared. I aim in, and we get the nice bonkeroony. Our T110E5 gets finished off by the 50B, which is not great, because that means there's an E50M on my side, which max rolls us for 425. But I'm just going to push up here and see if we can maybe help out my team. The problem is, there's an AMX M4, which I didn't even know was still there. Oh boy. What did I say? This game looked like a victory? Yeah, not anymore. Holy. This game was a victory. Now it's looking like a pretty bad defeat. But what's this? The AMX is making a pretty big mistake. He's showing me his entire rear. And, oh! 861 into his vehicle. Alright, well, it's looking back up now. We're at 4,600 plus the blind shot on the bat chat. But, uh-oh. Oh boy, go, go, go. Oh no, we get shot in the rear by the 50B, but I can't stay showing my rear anymore. Thankfully, the E50M bounces us, but the problem is I'm stuck on the dead Chieftain's corpse. Bruh! We're gonna aim it on the 50M, it goes right into the turret, but the 50M misses us, shoots the dead Chieftain, and whew, we get into cover. I have no clue what this minnow is doing. He's literally just been sitting here the entire time, but oh well. We are now in a 3 versus 2. And it's not looking like a win yet, but it's also not looking like a loss. We got the E50, bonk, right into the turret. That was a super important clear. And just like that, we arrive with a win. We did 5,000 damage without the blind shot on the bat chat, and if we see the victory screen, we should have dealt about 5,500, so not all too bad. This is another very solid game to showcase the capabilities of this vehicle. The alpha worked pretty nice. The armor actually did okay. The side scraping capabilities are actually really good on this vehicle, which is something that I do like, and once again, another advantage over the 60 TP. We did top on the team, and not a bad battle at all, and obviously another ace as well. So just a really, really solid game again for the 114. Here we are in battle number 3. Up against us, we feature 4 heavies, 1 medium, and 2 tank destroyers. The heavies, well, we got a VK90, Kranvan FE2 and 5B, and an AMX M4. So, actually just super strong heavies all around. They also have a T110E4 and a Leopard 1, which features super high DPM. Really, the only vehicle that doesn't scare me too much is the grill, but even then, I'm a very large vehicle. In fact, this is one of the longest tier 10s in the game. Because of that, you definitely want to make sure you're not overexposing your hull, because vehicles like the grill will cut through you. But, speaking of overexposing, that Kron sits right in the open. I don't really know what he's doing, but clearly not the correct maneuvers. And we get a free 580 damage shot. Now this Yag unfortunately goes in like the one spot we were working, which means we now have a really tricky time of using our gun depression here, but that's alright. The E4 is going to drive right over the ridge, and we kind of fluff the shot. We shoot at his track wheel, but unfortunately it hits into the upper plate rather than the weaker lower half of the vehicle. Oh well, there's not much to really say about it. E4 side armor is a little troll after they've changed it with PBR, but that's all good. We're going to aim it on the side of the AMX, and there you go, nice 632 shot. One nice thing about being super tall and having 7 degrees of gun depression means that we can not only easily look over ridge lines, but we can also just get some shots out without having to really expose our vehicle too much. Alright, well, the Yag gets a nice slap into the E4, and oh boy, that guy gets deleted. We're up to 1800 damage at this point, which is pretty good. And alright, let's see what we can do. We got the AMX M4 up top, we got the 2 and 5B in front, and the Kron is still sitting in the back. Alright, let's aim it on the Kron. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to aim it on the Kron? Yeah, that's not allowed. So you know what? I'm going to shoot the 2 and 5B who our Yag's about to shoot, and now you're going to waste your tungsten, so I don't know what to say. He would have gotten a lot of damage if he had just let me take that snap real quick, but oh well. Alright, well we got the AMX M4, and he bounces our side armor, which is pretty expected, and then he just kind of goes sideways. I don't really know what to say about the AMX, to be honest, but I'm not going to complain. That gave us 3,000 damage. Alright, well what do we have left? We got a VK90, we have a Grill 15 in the back, and, well, that's really just about it, because I'm not going to worry about the Kron. He's not too much of a threat. So we got one shell into the VK90, and we do get hit by the Grill, but we still have 1,700 health left, which means we can literally take 2, even 3 more shells from the Grill. So I'm really not worried about that. We're just going to cut low so we don't give the Grill any extra damage for free. We're going to get a nice shell into the VK. There you go. And just like that, we're up to 4,300 damage. All that I really care about at this point is the enemy Grill 15, who we can see has backed himself into a corner. Literally, he is stuck there. We're going to aim in an HE, and bonk! Oh, 835. Once again, good luck doing that with the 60 TP. You're going to have to activate your tungsten, and even then you're still only going to roll like 800. This gun can roll up to just about 1,000 damage. So yeah, once again, I just really like the gun on this vehicle. 5,453 damage dealt, one of the easiest chunks of damage ever, and again, a great example of how the 114 is able to just conquer its opponents. Obviously, this is once again another ace in the tank. We got another chunk of credits at 116,000. Just really, really easy dubs so far. And here we arrive to our final battle. This is actually the latest game I played in the tank just about 20 minutes ago. So let's see what we're able to do. Well, the 60 TP shoots an HE shell at us. Not really that much damage, only 170. And unfortunately, our shell doesn't even go near where he was, but it probably wouldn't have penned to begin with. So not that big of a deal. We're going to poke sideways, and we're going to see if that 60 tries poking us. He does. We get a snap, and we get a pen. Unfortunately, even though we do get a bounce from the 60, we just lost about, oh yeah, 1,500 health because their entire team is camping all the way on the ridge over here. You don't know how mad I was. I literally typed in chat, I think I said like, your whole team is camping. Yeah, I was not very happy about that. I think I got hit by the E4, the Minnow, and the Hori all at once. So yeah, that really, really sucks. At this point, I'm pretty flustered. So we're going to see if I can maybe get a shell into the 60s, shoot, and back up, back up, back up. Okay, well, the E4 does bounce us, but that's pretty expected because I backed up before he really had the shot on us. But uh-oh, now the Chieftain's pushing us. We are at 700 hit points with 500 damage dealt this game. And wow, 2 low rolls in a row. Oh boy, this is not looking like a good battle. Well, we're going to wiggle, and nice, we got a bounce. Okay, and because the Chieftain just gets crapped on by my teammates behind me, we are now in a situation where at least one of the threats is taken out. Thankfully, I do have an E4 and an E6 behind me, which is actually quite nice. Okay, well, we're up to 1,500 damage, which is a lot better than 500, and we're still alive. And the good thing about being at 700 health is we're not a one-shot for anybody. Well, we got the STB off to the side, and bonk, another low roll. Man, we are not on a roll with our shots this game. But at least we're up to 2,000 damage at this point. I'll take it. We've hit our shots, and we're still getting out more and more. Okay, well, we got the 50B, and there's a T110E4, who is 560 health, so we're going to aim it on his side, and yes! yes. That was super, super important. First of all, just to get some vengeance back into him snapping us earlier, but even more is the fact that that's just a super deadly tank, and the fact that we were able to clear the E4 gives us a pretty big advantage late game. So now we're up to 2,700. Okay, it's looking a lot better. 2,700 is actually pretty respectable. Okay, well, the enemy team still has a lot of vehicles left. They got a 60 TP, a AMX-50B, a Minnow, a Hori, and an STB. I mean, those are all very strong tanks, and I'm not super healthy, neither is the VK. We got an E6 who's been camping in our literal, all the way in the back of the map. I was going to say spawn, but that's not really spawn. But yeah, he's not really doing much to help us right now. And our E4 is capping the base, which is also not very helpful. But we're going to aim it on the Hori, and oh, thank you, game. That was a super important shot. If that had missed, could have been a loss. But thankfully, the shot that I needed to hit did end up penetrating. Not only are we over 3,000 damage at this point, but this game is actually looking more and more winnable at the moment. Alright, well, let's see. We got the 60 TP, who I can't really do anything to, even though that is the biggest threat right now. We got the STB, not too worried about that, and yeah, there's not much going on right now. I mean, all we need to do is hold this position here, and have our E4 bait them out. We might actually do okay. So let's see. The Minnow's off to the side. I'm expecting this Minnow just to send the E4. I mean, that's what I would expect, because it's a full health Minnow and a one-shot E4. But the Minnow starts looking at us. I'm like, no thank you. I'm not putting myself in the range of a one-shot. So I'm going to wait for the Minnow to turn, and then we're going to get a slap into his vehicle for 612. Then the E4 is going to miss his shot. Well, that's not very helpful. So the E4 has two options. The E4 can either drive into cover, like a smart person, and just bait the Minnow around the corner, or he can back up into the direct line of sight of the Minnow and kill himself. Wow! Whoa! That was so scaled. I don't understand why people do things like that. What do you gain from penning that shot if you end up dying? You could have just backed up, you still might have penned the shot, and you might have lived, but oh well. We got the STB off to the side, and this is a very important tank that we need to try and clear. I'm going to aim in, and oh, thank you. That STB really only would have been a threat if he had stayed behind that rock and basically stopped the E6 from doing something. But because the STB decided to back up, that was the end of that player. Well, we're up to 3,900 damage at this point. The Minnow gets bonked by the E6, but that's alright, because we're going to go over here, aiming on the AMX-50B. I need this to clear him. Oh, unfortunate. It wouldn't have mattered, though. Even if we had have cleared the 50B, the E6, or not the E6, sorry, the Minnow would have still killed us. But hey, we still got some pretty good results here. We were not only able to deal 4,600 damage, but again, get another mastery, making sure that we net an additional 105,000 credits. This was a super tricky battle. We literally had 700 health right out of the beginning of the game, and we were still able to pump out an additional 4,000 off of the base 500 we were sitting at. So yeah, I think this is a proper fun tank. It's got a good gun, but not a crazy good gun. It will miss a lot of shots, especially ones that you want to hit. But when it works, as you saw, it works pretty well. The tank has a decent chunk of HP, it's got a pretty solid amount of armor, and I don't really have any complaints about it. This is exactly what I wanted it to be when I saw it in test, and now that it's released like this, I am quite happy. Is it going to be a comp tank? No. Is it going to be an insanely overpowered vehicle? No. Is it a fun tank that I would definitely keep an eye out for in maybe a year or so if it comes out cheaper? Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comments down below. I'd rank it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.